final draft, and now you're going to have an opportunity to not only score someone else's paper, again in a kind, helpful way, but you're also going to score your own. When you score your own paper, when you score your neighbor's paper, it's not about whether you're friends, it's not about anything other than what did he or she write, what did I write. You want to do your best job to be honest with them and with yourself so that you can help them and they can help you. Remember, it's not about being nitpicky. It's not about, oh, you messed this up, this is a terrible. No, it's none of that. It's what did you do right? Where do you need to improve? That's the goals. There's no beating anybody up. What did you do right? Where do you need to improve? Now, when you're graded on this, you're going to be graded on 4 areas, and you're going to have a sheet in front of you that lays this all out. You're going to be graded on focus, organization, support, and conventions. You're going to be graded on a U through 6 scale. 6 is beyond amazing. 6 is you read it and you just said, wow. Unscorable is they didn't address the topic at all. Now, none of you did that today because you've had support, you unpacked the prompt, you got all the help. So again, what we're looking for is we want to see everyone get as close to the 6 as they can, as close to the 6. Now, average, like a C, is a 3. That's where you've done it, but you didn't do it really great. Below average, where you didn't even do it as well you should have, that's more the 2, or if you were really kind of off, that's the 1. The 2s and the 1s are for areas where we're not saying you messed up, we're saying these are areas you really need to improve upon. These are areas you need to make better. If they did at least okay on those areas, then it's a 3. If they did well on it, it's a 4. If they did really well on it, you were impressed, it's a 5. And if they did amazing, it's a 6. So for focus, that's did they stay on the topic? How well did they develop the topic? Now, none of you should have been off topic today because you've been supporters. Everyone should be getting a 3 or above on focus because again, they should have nailed that topic. Should not be an issue. All right? Now you're going to look at how well they organized their paper. They had more time this time. They had 60 minutes, including planning and revision, fixing it at the end, so they should have really organized it well. You're looking for a clear introduction, multiple well-developed body paragraphs, and a conclusion that leads the reader through the paper well. You're also checking, did they use transitions at the beginning of every paragraph? And if they want the 5 or the 6, even within the paragraph, those transition words to lead them through. Now, if they only did first, second, third, first, next, last, in conclusion, and so on, if they use the basics, that's a 3. To get to the 4 or higher, they have to use more of the higher end transitions that your language arts teachers have been working on you with. So look for those higher end transitions. Beyond organization, you're also looking at support. How well did they support what they wrote? Did they give you specific details? Did they use strong vocabulary to describe their details? Were the details vividly written in an interesting way? Really important they did that. If you see a lot of ETC, etc., if you see them using words like stuff, if they're not truly explaining, then that's probably down at the 3 level or even possibly below. Again, lots of details, strongly written, that's going to take you to the 4 and above. Now, finally, the not so much fun part to check are conventions, and that's did they spell words correctly? Did they capitalize? Did they punctuate? Are their sentences written properly and not using fragments? Do the paragraphs flow together? Did they indent their paragraphs? These are all things we know belong in good writing. Checking to see if they did so is part of that. Now, an average amount of errors, yeah, average. You know, just making a few mistakes here and there, that's a 3. If they have more errors than that, if they start making a lot of mistakes, then we're dropping to the 2. And if it's full of errors, then we're actually going all the way down to the 1. If they have very few errors, but they also included a lot of strong vocabulary, they also tried to write in very complex, interesting sentences. If they went beyond the average, then you can actually give them 4 to the 5 to the 6, depending on how well they wrote. Now, don't forget, your teacher's going to be going over with you some examples. If you have questions about scoring, ask the teacher if you're not sure if it's a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Don't be mean. This is not the time for you to go ahead and say, oh, you really messed up on this, you misspelled 3 words, that's it. No, that's not what this is about. This is, hey, here's some mistakes, here's how we get better. We're being honest. Grade other people the way you'd want to be graded. You know, you want people to look at you and tell you how to get better, but you don't want to be beaten up at the same time. So please consider that when you're scoring your neighbors.